Hi, everyone, and welcome to this month's mug. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Amy, and I'm part of the customer success team here at Provident for Monday.com. So, I'm really excited today to be joined by my colleague Shauna. She is a solutions consultant from our consultancy team, as well as the amazing Gabby, Monday.com's Global CRM Partnerships Manager. So, Gabby will be showcasing some powerful CRM features with us today as well. Before we dive in, which we have a full packed slide deck, so we're going to just jump straight into it. But the demo will run hopefully for approximately 30 minutes, and we will try to keep under that. There is actually a breakout room after that, and there'll be a link to each of myself, Shauna, and Gabby's link to join them as well. There's also an open. This is like an open discussion, so feel free to drop any questions into the chat as we go, and we can go through them during the Q&A at the end. And then there's also a survey that's going to be sent out um, tomorrow, and that's like for we'd love to get your feedback, and it's also a great opportunity for you to suggest any features or topics that you want to discuss in our next mug. Perfect. So let's move on quickly to the agenda. So as you can see, it's fully packed today. So first we've got the struggle with traditional CRMs, and then we're going to have a live demo from Shauna, and she's going to show us the key features that we look for in a CRM. And then we've got the product roadmap. So that is going to cover the CRM for marketing and some customer engagement. And hopefully, if we have time, we can go through the biggest mistakes that we can see through the traditional CRMs and how we can avoid them. And then that will be followed by the Q&A. And then if you guys have time or have extra questions after that, it will bring you down through to one of the, I was going to say escape rooms, but it's not an escape room. It's one of the, I can't think of the word now. Breakout room. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So let's get started. This is the common struggles with the traditional CRM. So this is the pains in the industry, and we've done big research on this. So it's come from interviewing many sales reps, some sales leaders, operation managers, and just kind of understanding that they're the common key challenges. So what we see, and I think Gabby, you may agree, and Shauna also, the when teams work in silos, the handoff is very disjointed. So having that collaboration, which is key for Monday, having the collaboration for one, we can share knowledge, ideas, um, resources are more freely, leading like to better problem solving and innovation. Would you agree on that, Gabby? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's actually like looking at this slide, and I think you you summarized this really nicely. I think there's like two things that really stand out to me, and also like that I hear more and more when speaking with customers. And I think the one point that you mentioned around the disjointed teams and like processes and like teams working in silos. I think when we
Mm,
look at like a sales cycle, typically it's like we have loads of people involved, right? From
yeah.
like marketing, BDR, maybe a subject matter expert,
Yes.
customer success. And typically a CRM or like traditional CRMs are very strong in only one suit, only one part. Um,
Yes.
and um, and that results in then individual teams working in their own little bubble, and information getting lost,
Yeah.
efficiency increases. And I think that's why like Monday CRM offers a really nice CRM plus solution where we can actually cover multiple steps and can make sure that um, multiple teams and people really are involved and in the loop and know what's been going on with a customer in particular.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that as well. Because as well, if people are working individually, there is that lack of collaboration, but it also then leads to sometimes like a massive duplication in work. Do you know?
Yeah.
Because everybody's doing the same, kind of like the same job. Whereas if we were able to reduce that, then the process can become more streamlined across all departments. So I think, yeah, I think that that's what we kind of have seen with the traditional CRMs. And then also next point then would be software implementation, customization. So this can be quite costly. And quite a long process, especially I think if they're doing it themselves as well, you've got that the efficiency that if we did it in-house for them, that's where we kind of see where it's like brings me to the next point of like time to value, reduces the downtime. But we have professionals to ensure, like within our teams, to ensure that, the system is tailored to the client's real business needs as well. And I find that, when they do it themselves, it can kind of, you can see where it can become quite costly. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know with Provident, they have a great partner on
Yeah.
their hand to support. So definitely, I think it's super crucial to have a partner to that guides through. Well, I think it's first step the exploration of the use case, but then also the proper implementation and adoption moving forward. I think one of the biggest struggles. That I come across is, it's CRMs have been implemented in companies and it
Mm,
costed lots of money and took a lot of time, but then
yeah.
people don't end up using it because it's clunky, it's yeah, hard and not enjoyable to use. And I think that's when that's the biggest trouble, really, right? Because you've put a lot of
Yeah.
cost, a lot of money into it. And so I think the intuitiveness and also ease of use of a platform is super crucial because you want to make sure your
That's
employees
it. Yeah.
use it and put in their data, right?
And that's it. Like people want to work fast when we were smarter, not harder. And like as you said there, one of the points of having the implementation, like we have experts in house here to design implementations with growth and scalability in mind. So we want to avoid the short-sighted decisions that could lead to an expensive, very expensive rework later. And like that, where they don't use it, where it's not trained, people aren't trained how to use it correctly from the get-go, then it can't cost a lot of time and money in the long run. That kind of brings us to the next point of like the time to value was poorly executed. So like with that, if the goals aren't clearly defined from the start, to improve the sales tracking, the customer segmentation, also with that, it's hard to kind of measure the value or money if you're not achieving that either.
Yeah,
Would you
absolutely.
agree with that too?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and as well, poor adoption as well. Like if like as you mentioned, the with the CRM being user friendly, if it is well integrated, into the daily workflows, then you can see that it's like the proper training employees, they won't use it effectively and it will drag out in time before that value is even realized, you know, which is where Provident come in, which is good. So moving on then from that, um we're actually going to run a poll. So there's a poll going to be run, and it's basically like kind of like from the biggest challenges that we find from your CRM. So everyone who's on this call, like, what are you finding? What's your current the CRM challenges? And there is answer options there. Whether you've low user adoption, it's too complex, it's not sales friendly, poor visibility, limited customization, or else it's just fine. Major issues, which we're hoping that it's not because we want to fix it for you. So if you guys answer the poll, get involved, and then we can see what the answers are from that. Um, at the end. So this brings us now to like what we want to look for in a CRM. Like so impact and value from day one. We want scalability, we want flexibility, we want to have automations and AI to save time, work smarter, not harder. Integrations and API is where we come in. User friendly designs as well. Like, we want to offer that seamless, undefined experience. And on that note, what I want to do is pass it over to the wonderful Shauna. So Shauna is going to give us just a high level demo of Monday CRM. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you do have any questions, feel free to put them into the Q&A, or even if you want to put your hand up if you have something to ask in the moment, feel free to do that also. And Shauna, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Thanks so much, Amy. So, I just want to go through basically the pointers that Amy has already spoke about. So, the likes of how Monday CRM is scalable, it's completely flexible, it has automations, we can use AI, we have integrations, and it's completely user friendly. So, let me just show how it can be scalable. So, let's say you are a team of five, you could even be a team of 500, no matter how many people are in your business, um, however many people are in your business, you're going to be able to use Monday the exact same way. So we have a great flow from leads to opportunities, contacts, and accounts, and I can just show you that really quickly. So let's say we have Frank Quinn here. I'm going to then choose Frank Quinn to be qualified. And the automations in the background then are going to basically make Frank Quinn become qualified into this qualified group. And we're also going to create an opportunity for Frank Quinn, which will appear at the very bottom, and which will appear in here. And then we will have contacts and accounts as well. So that is just how scalable it can be and how quick we can work with it within the automations that we have on Monday. We also have dashboards that can work with multiple boards. So if I look at this overview really quickly, we can see when this loads for me that this dashboard is connected to 6 boards. And if I just open it up, the boards that we're connected to, we have our opportunities. We're also working with a finance team, our legal team, security team. We have account management, and then we also have our sales targets. So there's many different departments in there, but we can have like a bird's eye view of all of these teams and what they're doing. So for example, we have our monthly targets, the amount that we've earned so far, what kind of forecasts we have, a pipeline, etc. So we have all that within this dashboard that we can see no matter what teams we have. If we end up having another team you want to see on this, we can just add that board. So that is completely scalable within the amount of teams that you have. Monday is also really flexible, or the Monday CRM is really flexible. So if you have, let's say you have your accounts or your leads, but maybe you don't have certain phrases that you want to use, we can update your column names. We can update by deleting any columns. If you need to add any columns, we can do so. For example, in region, if you have another region that you work with, then we can put that in there. Depending on what you need to do, then that will be completely customizable to what your business requirements are. We also have different views as well. So depending on the different views that you want to see within your boards, we can of course customize it to see this. So for example, we have a dashboard here for just leads, and that is showing you exactly what you need to see within the leads. If you want, you could also have maybe a calendar view, a Kanban view, anything at all that you need to use is going to be within there. So I did speak a little bit about automations, but we also do have the option to use AI, and I'll show you that really quickly as well. So let's say I have my leads and I want to send an email to my leads. So I've clicked on all leads and I will choose mass email. And what that will do is, let me just remove this. What that will do is allow me to create an email that is going to be sent to 2 of my leads. I want AI to generate that email. So if I click in here, what I can do is I can choose from a few of the examples that it has, or I can click up here to start writing in, write an email. So write an email to leads who are ghosting me. And then if I just click on the send button, that's going to then generate that email. And then I can pop up here, click and copy, and then that is now in my email. I can just update anything that I need to update, and then that's ready to be sent to that email. We also have plenty of integrations. So from here, for example, I have integrated with my Outlook. But if I pop up here to integrate, we'll see the many different integrations that we can use that are out of the box. So we have Gmail, Google Sheets, we have Google Calendar, we have Zoom, we have Slack, HubSpot, LinkedIn. There's many different integration tools that we can use. If there is an integration, or if there's a system that you want to have integrated with Monday that isn't in this list, or when you click on more integrations, it doesn't pop up here, we do work with a system called make.com that can communicate between 2 systems. So if there is an integration that you want that isn't here, it's not out of the box, you can let us know and we'll be able to still create that integration for you. So just to emphasize on that user-friendly design that Monday have. So we are on leads, and you can see it is quite colorful. It's really easy to use. When I open up my records, everything is laid out in a really easy way to be able to read it, and even the dashboard. So if I just pop back down to the dashboard, we can see again just how colorful it is, how laid out everything is, and it is just really easy to use. Now, this is a very high level overview of how the Monday CRM system works. If you do need a more in-depth way of looking at it, then do let us know and we'll be able to be in touch with you to show you how it can work more. But that's everything. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shauna. Appreciate that. we are now going to hand it over to Gabby, and we are going to go through the product roadmap.
Perfect. Can't believe it's my turn already. Again, it goes by quickly.
It's
But yeah, super excited to share a few highlights. Also, to be precise, 3 highlights. It's very tricky to pick some out of our extensive roadmap. But
Mhm.
yeah, so the first one we're gonna dive into is the new communication channels. Actually, also something I just want to highlight as we dive into some of the roadmap aspects. The dates, as you can see, are planned, and we work towards them. But of course, we cannot commit them. So let's hope for the best. But yeah, no hard commitments. Okay, but let's look at the first one, the new communication channels. And I think this actually fits in really nicely with the problem that we discussed at the beginning of the meeting, right? With different tools and different
Yeah.
silos. We really want to allow to reduce the switching between different tools and platforms as much as we can, because if we do, we tend to lose contextual information and data. And so this is why the team is working really hard on adding these additional communication channels to Monday CRM. So you can
Mhm.
see MS Teams is actually planned for Q2, SMS for Q3, as well as WhatsApp as well. And
Amazing.
this will essentially allow you to send, log, and view team meetings, for example, or SMS and WhatsApp messages directly from the CRM timeline. So again, having everything in this one consolidated timeline and customer related view.
It's brilliant. It's amazing. Just having that single source of truth again,
Exactly,
with Monday.com is amazing, isn't it?
exactly. And
Really
really
excited for this.
reducing the time of toggling around, right? And maybe forgetting something
Yeah.
that you talked about. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. I love the LinkedIn one. Don't know how I feel about the WhatsApp, but the integration, but definitely LinkedIn would be really good.
Yeah, cool. Good. If you click one further, we can take a look at another very exciting one. And maybe also just to set the scene here a little bit. So the Monday CRM team has run quite an extensive survey where they asked about 500 sales leaders, and found out actually that the most popular use cases are around sales forecasting, especially on a C-level, and also prediction of future sales trends. So that's like the one part, but equally also personalized outreach, sales analytics, and lead scoring as the most popular cases. And I know Shauna has already pointed out a very quick win of helping AI here to draft an outreach message. Now, what this is going to look like is, so I think a key aspect is to really allow AI to help extract details and
Hmm.
insights from across all communication. So, for example, in that one customer view, right, where we track all our meetings, notes, customer feedback, we'll be able to, like, with a click, summarize
Yeah.
and consolidate everything that's been going on. The other aspect is really on the area of deal health, so being able to prioritize and forecast better, and considering also the sentiment of the communication and the customer.
Hmm.
The other thing is, I mean, I think it's really about prioritizing at the end of the day, right? What are the lowest hanging fruit? Where do we get the quickest wins? Which leads
Yeah.
convert the best, or have the highest chance of success? And there's also going to be I'll call it like an SDR assistant. So really the possibility of categorizing an incoming lead and getting discovery and questions auto generated. And I think that's the really exciting part when we think about, okay, um,
Yeah.
in a situation of suggesting the next best step, what's the best approach of following up with the customer on the basis of what has been discussed so far. What's the ideal follow-up meeting structure, or what's the ideal content of a follow-up email. I think that is
Hmm.
when it becomes really interesting and highly personalized again. So that's
Yeah.
something that I personally am very excited about.
Definitely, because I think as well you can become like you can get to a stage where you're at a bit of a blocker with customers, and I think having that extra input from the AI, like I've never been disappointed with the AI. I was quite scared to use it at the start, but
Yeah,
now I'm like, what did I do before it? It's just like having an extra little help in helping hand within work. Like it's fantastic, but like that,
absolutely.
like when you get to those blocker stages, it is so helpful, and it just kind of gives you another kind of like outlet to go through. So I find it really, really good.
Yeah,
I find it
yeah,
helpful in my
absolutely.
day to
Very,
day.
very excited about the AI piece. There's lots moving,
Yeah.
lots of things happening.
Mm.
Cool. And the last thing I wanted to dive in a bit more detail, also super exciting, is
Mhm.
the email marketing campaigns. So this is still in early stages. As you can see, it's planned release for Q3, and
Mhm.
it's basically going to be or allowing you to have your all-in-one sales and marketing suite.
Yeah.
So I'll now call it Monday CRM for marketing. And with that, you can basically create email campaigns with an easy drag and drop builder. The good thing is, going back to the conversation start of integrations, is it seamlessly integrates with Monday CRM. So you can access and manage your contacts, the marketing campaigns, and the sales progress directly within your CRM, and also segment your audiences as you wish when you do your outreach.
Mhm.
Um, the other cool thing is that it will also allow you to gain smart campaign insights, which is super important, right? At the end of the day, we want to
Yeah.
know how well did a campaign perform, and yeah, with that you can basically see how specific marketing efforts impact the sales funnel. When an SQL turns into a win, it will also reflect, and really allowing you to get deep insights around the performance, to understand open rates, click rates, and conversions,
Yeah.
essentially.
Having that overview from each of your campaigns, it really is a time saver. And then what you can do afterwards is use the AI to create a new campaign. So
Exactly.
it's working hand in hand. So yeah, excellent features being released. Some of them, as we may have to wait longer than others, but still really exciting times ahead for it though. Um, Thank you so much, Gabby. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Next, what we have. So this, I'm going to cover maybe just a few features from this. So the biggest mistakes. So there's plenty of mistakes that we can making on them. But I think the main things that I find is the biggest mistakes would maybe be ignoring user adoption, and lack of training. So with that, if I mean, what we want to do from our end is, you have a deep knowledge of the software from our side. We want to provide the best practices, and not showing that then can be the biggest a common pitfall. In-house having that adoption, using that or creating that adoption for you and your team, we have done it many times before. Um, we anticipate the challenges and we can avoid any costly mistakes as well. And then with the training, implementing training can like we can do it as training. Sorry, implementers can also include training and then change management strategies with you as well, which is going to boost different adoption, and it's basically long-term success. We want to be able to scale it for you and the team, you know. And then also I think there's a few other not integrating with existing tools properly. Um, that's where we would come in, helping you integrate with the tools that you have so that you have that single source of truth. Again, with Monday.com, I think can be really important. Um, but yeah, they're just a few of them. But I know we're coming really close to the end of time, and I kind of wanted to touch on. I have a few more slides to go through. The poll, but results for the poll has also come out, which I wanted to let you guys know. So we have 50-50. So too complex, it feels more like a burden than a tool. So that is definitely something that we don't want to happen. And we definitely want to be able to help you with that because that shouldn't be the case. Limited customization doesn't match our business processes. Again, that's something where we will come in and we'll customize that to suit your business values. Um, we want to work with you and what your values are for the entire company across the board. And yeah, that's where we'd help with the adoption with that. One second now. Um, Yes, and also then finally, I wanted to mention that you can join us in Dublin. We're having a Swing into Success with Monday .com on Thursday, 22nd of May. So it's going to be one to one with our project experts. And there's like real use cases, demo stations, and of course, bit of golf, bit of food, bit of drinks, and some networking. Which is going to be really, really fun. So there is going to be a link to that, I think, right now. Um, and then next, so yes, our special offer. There's also a link for this as well. Special offer for you because you've joined our mug, so you can avail of a free, or sorry, an extended free trial of Monday CRM. Now I think there should be a link on that as well if you're able to click onto that. And then finally, what I wanted to mention is that there is a breakout room at the end. So let's continue the conversation. There'll be one-to-one chats for myself, Shauna, and Gabby in our individual rooms, and for the next 15 minutes. And I think there should be a link for that as well. So thank you everybody for attending. Thank you, Shauna and Gabby, for being my co-hosts for the day. I really appreciate your time. And again, if there's anything that you guys have any questions for, if you can't join us in the next breakout room, just reach out to us, myself or Keen or Shauna or Gabby. Just reach out to one of us. We'll be able to catch up with you again. But thank you so much, everybody. We shall see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.